Hello, you beautiful people. So, I'm somewhat sure that you clicked on this video because you're just a tiny bit curious about the upcoming character banners coming to Honkai Star Rail and want to plan your savings to pull for your favorite unit, right? Well, somehow you've landed on the perfect video to get all this banner-related info. Today, I'm mainly going to talk about all the characters that are going to be featured on the limited banners from patch 3.5 to patch 3.8, and along with this, we will also take a look at some speculations related to the rerunning units. Other than that, I will tell you about some upcoming characters who are going to be released in patch 4.0 along with a brand new playable path as well. Before we begin, I think some of you already know what I'm going to say next, because it's basically a tradition at this point, and yes, in this video, I'm going to host a 5 Express Pass giveaway just to help some of you guys stack up those jades for the upcoming characters. If you want to enter this giveaway, I made the process really simple, and all you need to do is to leave any comment down in the comment section, and it can literally be anything. I will announce the results of this giveaway on the community post of my channel in around a week after posting this video. Good luck to everyone who is participating, and I just want to say that I genuinely love you guys. Anyways, with that done, let me just mention the usual disclaimer that everything which I mention in this video is based on the info taken from different sources, and it might be changed at any point of time, so take all this info with a grain of salt. With that being said, let's begin without wasting any more of your time or energy. Alright, starting with the limited banners for patch 3.4, due to the drip marketing culture, we already know that this patch is going to feature a total of 2 new 5-star characters, namely hysilens and cerydra. Honestly, at first, I thought that this patch would be the easiest skip patch of my life, but after seeing the designs of both hysilens and cerydra, I think I was really wrong to consider this patch an easy skip, because I love both of their designs quite a lot. Anyways, coming back to the main topic, hysilens will be featured in the first half of the patch because her drip marketing was posted on June 17th. Now, on the other hand, cerydra will get her featured banner on the second half because her drip marketing was posted a day later on June 18th. Okay, so before moving on to the reruns for this patch, let me just give you a quick summary on both hysilens and cerydra's kits, just to help you decide if these characters are worth it for your account or not. Still, just saying, if you've already seen my videos where I explain their kits in detail, you can simply skip to the rerun section using the timestamps that I made. So, starting with hysilens, she is going to be a physical type character following the path of nihility, and her kit is mainly based around the DOT archetype. As of right now, I can confidently say that if you're a DOT enjoyer, hysilens is pretty much a must-pull character for you, because her kit basically solves a lot of DOT's underlying problems and brings the DOT team back into the meta. She also looks really fun to play due to all the colorful DOT explosions happening on the enemies because of her DOT application, so she does get some extra points for that. All in all, if you really enjoy playing the DOT archetype and teams related to it, I would definitely say that you should get hysilens, and trust me, she really is that big of an upgrade to the entire DOT archetype. Moving on to cerydra, she is a wind-type unit following the path of harmony, and by looking at the path, you can probably guess that she is going to play the role of a support on your team. Okay, I will be real here. In terms of uniqueness and team versatility, cerydra is pretty much a Sparkle tier character, but don't worry, her kit is nowhere near as underwhelming as Sparkle's kit. You know, she is kind of like a jack-of-all-trades character because she provides a little bit of everything like attack buffs, damage buffs, crit damage buffs, her own personal damage, and her unique recast mechanic as well. I do think her kit is really special though, because in a scenario where you pair her up with a DPS that she synergizes with, the impact that her kit makes is really massive. And you can kind of compare it to how it feels like playing Aglaya with Sunday and without him. Overall, do keep in mind that I'm a bit biased when it comes to cerydra because whenever I look at her, she reminds me of Furina, and I absolutely adore Furina, so just because of that, cerydra is already kind of a must-pull character for me. But I do hope that she gets buffed just a little bit because right now, there aren't many characters who can use her kit to the full extent. Well, with that, we're done discussing all the limited characters that are going to be featured in patch 3.5. Continuing on, let's quickly take a look at the rerun banners for this patch, before moving on to potentially one of the most hyped patches in HSR history, which is going to be patch 3.6. So, first of all, due to the patch 3.4 official livestream, we already know the names of 2 characters that are going to get a rerun in this patch, and these characters are going to be Kafka and Silver Wolf. Now, from what I can guess based on the current speculations, there are going to be a total of 4 characters who are going to get their reruns in patch 3.5. Okay, so up until now, I think HSR has made it painfully obvious that they like to rerun characters who are really synergistic with their newly released units, right? Keeping this in mind, I think a Black Swan rerun is almost confirmed at this point, due to her synergy with both the DOT archetype and hysilens as well. Kafka, Black Swan, and hysilens are going to make up the premium DOT team from patch 3.5, which is going to be one of the best teams in the entire game, and they will obviously try to sell you the whole DOT package at the same time. Lastly, as for the final character, I think it's highly likely that Anaxa will get his first rerun in this patch, after his debut banner, which was featured in patch 3.2. Honestly, the entire reason he is getting a rerun so early is because of his insane synergy with Cyrydra's kit as a whole, and trust me, their synergy is actually just something else. They pretty much have a perfect synergy with each other, and Cyrydra quite literally makes Anaxa as one of the best DPSs in the entire game. Overall, all the reruns in this patch look pretty decent, and as always, don't take any of this rerun info too seriously, because it can be changed even at the very last moment. Now, as for the banner order, I think Kafka, Silver Wolf, and Black Swan will be featured on the triple rerun banner in the first half of the patch, alongside the featured banner of hysilens. On the other hand, Anaxa's first rerun banner is going to be featured in the second half of patch 3.5, alongside Cyrydra's release banner. Continuing on, let's take a look at the limited banners for patch 3.6, and honestly, I'm entirely sure that this is the patch which is going to make me open up the Sacred Wallet. So, in the classic HSR fashion, a total of 2 characters are going to be featured in this patch, and these characters are going to be the 5-star form of March 7th and the 5-star form of Dan Heng. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you probably already know that I adore both of these characters quite a lot, so I do apologize if I sound kind of biased while talking about both of them. Right now, though, we don't really have any kind of concrete or defined info on their kits, which kind of makes sense considering their banner is 2 months away, but we do know a little bit of info like their kit design and stuff. So let me quickly tell you about all that. Okay, starting with the 5-star form of March 7th. According to the current info, her in-game name is going to be Evernight, which sounds kind of ethereal, and she is going to be an Ice-type unit who follows the Path of Remembrance. Even though we know close to nothing related to her kit, we do know the fact that her kit is primarily going to revolve around her memo sprite, which is going to be this jellyfish shown in her DU appearance. Other than that, if we take a look at her blood boon in the Divergent universe, it kind of tells us that March would want a lot of allies, or in simpler words, memo sprites on the field, which obviously means that she will synergize really well with all the Remembrance characters, because they're essentially 2 units in one. If this info about her main memo sprite mechanic turns out to be true, the new planar set that just got released in patch 3.4 will likely turn out to be her best in slot set, but who knows, they might design another set which suits her kit even more. Overall, this character is probably one of my most hyped characters other than Cyrene, so I'm really hoping that her design turns out to be really good, but honestly, I'll pull for her regardless, just because she is March. Next up, moving on to Dan Heng, his in-game name is going to be Terravox, who has already been mentioned in the story several times, and he is going to be a fire-type unit following the Path of Preservation. Now, if you haven't watched my last video, let me just tell you that according to a somewhat reliable source, the 5-star form of Dan Heng is going to be our next free 5-star character after Archer. Okay, if you don't know, or if you somehow missed it, HSR actually announced that they're going to give away another free 5-star character after Archer, and basically, this source says that this free 5-star character is going to be Terravox. Personally, I would say that this info doesn't really make a lot of sense, considering how popular Dan Heng is and how much money his new form will make, but at the same time, maybe they think that this is better for the game because they probably made a lot of money with the banner sales of Castorice, Finon, and the Fate collab as well. All in all, this is genuinely a dream come true if Terravox turns out to be free, because that means that I can focus on saving all my Jades for March 7th and Cyrene. As for his kit, just like March 7th, we don't know much about it right now, other than the fact that he is going to have a dragon summon, and he is most likely going to be the best in slot sustain for Finon. Welp, with that, we're done discussing all the limited characters that are going to be featured in patch 3.6, and again, I'm really hoping that the free Dan Heng info turns out to be true. because that would literally solve all my pulling problems and I'll easily be able to save those jades. Moving on to the reruns, I don't really see a point in speculating the reruns for this patch because it's really far away right now and the rerunning characters for HSR do tend to be quite random at times. Still, if I had to guess, both Castorice and Hyacinth have a really high chance to get a rerun in this patch because, as I just said, March 7th synergizes really well with Remembrance characters, and there might even be a dual DPS team with her and Castorice later on. Other than both of these units, I do think it's been quite a while since Rappa has been featured on the limited banners, so her first rerun is most likely going to happen really soon, either in patch 3.5 or 3.6, and she is one of the prime rerun candidates right now. Alright, next up, let's take a look at the limited banners for patch 3.7, and I'm saying it right now, but this patch is definitely going to be the patch that I'm looking forward to the most, because it has that one character that I've literally wanted to be playable in HSR for ages. I think I made it really obvious, and some of you can probably already guess that the character I'm talking about is Cyrene. This patch is really unusual though, because unlike the normal patches, Cyrene is going to be the only new 5-star that is going to be released in this patch, but honestly, it's not that surprising because she is one of those characters who can easily carry an entire patch on their own. She is like literally one of the prettiest characters that I have seen, and I'm definitely going to get at least her E2, no questions asked. Now as for her kit, we do know that she is going to be an ice-type unit following the Path of Remembrance, and she's mainly going to be designed as a universal support. From the small tidbits of info that we got a while ago, she will be able to regenerate energy for all of her allies, just by using her skill, which sounds really broken, right? Other than that, she will also buff your entire team's speed and attack by a decent amount. Do keep in mind though that this info is somewhat old by now, so don't take it seriously at all, because there could have been a lot of changes that they made to her initial kit. I mean, at the end of the day, I actually don't even care whether her kit turns out to be good or bad, because I'm going to pull her E2 regardless. Anyways, moving on to patch 3.8, we don't really know much about this patch right now, which makes sense because it's really far away, but we do know that Constance is most likely going to get her featured banner in this patch. Other than that, just like for all the other characters, we quite literally don't have any kind of info on her kit, but I have a feeling that a lot of you guys will pull for her regardless, just because of her design. You know what though, Constance being playable in this patch gives me hope that one day, the other members of the Annihilation Gang will be playable as well, which is kind of exciting at least for me. Welp, that's it for all the character banners that are going to be featured up until patch 3.8. Honestly, I have to say, the lineup of characters for the late Amphoreus arc seems really insane, and I don't think I can even skip even one character, because I like all of them quite a lot, and I'm still praying that the design of the 5-star form of March is really good. Finally, I know some of you have been waiting for me to discuss this, and let's talk about the new path, some new units that we're going to see in 4.0 and later patches. So, first of all, in patch 4.0, we're going to get Elation as a playable path, and I have to say, this is one of the best paths that they could have chosen to make playable, because if they keep up with Elation's theme, this path might just end up having one of the most fun mechanics that we've seen in HSR. Other than that, a source recently stated that in the future, there will be some characters that will be able to change their paths in the middle of a fight, and I don't know about you, but this obviously seems like it's going to be the main mechanic of the Elation path. On paper, I do agree that this sounds really fun, and I mean you can just imagine a scenario where you have your Elation support character, who just turns into a destruction path unit in the middle of a fight and starts doing an insane amount of damage. Sounds fun and somewhat complicated as well, and I'm really curious that if they do decide to go with this mechanic, how will they balance the light cones and all that? Now currently, we know about a total of 3 characters who are going to be playable in patch 4.0, and these characters are the 5-star form of Sampo, another 5-star version of Sparkle, and Yae Sakura's XP. By the way, if you don't know, the planet that we'll visit in patch 4.0 is going to be based on a Japanese theme, so I kind of like that we're getting a new 5-star form of Sparkle along with its release. All in all though, the 3 characters that I just mentioned are really hyped from what I've seen, and for some reason, I'm already a bit hyped for patch 4.0, especially for the Yae Sakura XP. Anyways, with that, I've covered all the limited characters and rerunning banners from patch 3.5 to patch 3.6, and some upcoming characters from patch 3.7 to 4.0 as well. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and do remember to comment down which character you're going to pull for in these upcoming patches. Personally, I already got my E0 S1 fine on, and now I'm pretty much going to save everything for Cerydra, March 7th, and Cyrene, because there is quite literally no way I will ever skip either of those units. Also, if you actually ended up watching until the end, thank you, and you might want to consider subscribing as well. With that being said, as I stated at the start of the video, I really love you guys, and I will see you in another one.